Listen, friends, we gotta take the emotion out of real estate. Let's talk about it. Hey everybody, it's Rosemary Lewis, your educator agent with eXp Realty. And today, get ready for story time, but it's going to give you a lesson about why we cannot be so emotional in this real estate business. But before we get into it, listen, go ahead. Y'all know I'm your virtual real estate best friend. We besties and everything. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Like literally right now, subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell, give a thumbs up, do all the things for your girl, because I am committed to just coming here, doing these videos, talking to y'all on social, showing up on podcasts. And when you like and share and subscribe, it just means more to me than you will ever know. I have a goal to really, really grow this channel. Like, I love doing YouTube. It lets me be a teacher like I was before I was a full-time real estate broker. So all of your support means the world. Now, let's talk about how to not get your feelings hurt in this business. So y'all, a couple of months ago, I had a deal that my team was representing the buyers, okay? And we were under contract. We knew when we went under contract that the sellers were going through a life change, and it was a bit of a stressful situation on the seller end, okay? The seller's agent disclosed that to us, and we knew that he was dealing with like a lot of emotions on that end. So we get into the transaction, and after some time, my buyers needed to terminate the contract because of a contractual issue, okay? So we were within the terms of the contract to terminate. It should have been very cut and dry. We gave we signed off on everything. We gave our reasoning, the contractual reasoning on why we needed to end the contract, send it over to the title company, send it over to the seller's agent, and it should have been just pretty much like, hey, you win some, you lose some. Like, that's how real estate is. Unfortunately, it didn't go like that, right? What happened is that I'm pretty sure, I can't say without certainty, but based on the conversation that I had, I'm pretty sure that the sellers were not happy about us terminating the contract, which I completely understand. They're ready to move on and get the home sold. But that frustration that came from the seller went to the seller's agent, which came back to us. We were the buyer's agents. And not that we can't have feedback or have a conversation. I completely understand that we can do that. But the seller's agent, he was so elevated and he was so animated, and he was so like, I thought that I wasn't looking at him, but I thought that the poor baby was gonna bust a blood vessel over the phone as we talked through the issue. And then, just kind of pushing, looking for things that were not in the contract before they would move on. And it just got too emotional, right? And at one point I just had a conversation with him. I said, look, here's the deal. We can get brokers involved. We can do whatever it is that we need to do. But I kept an even face. Even though he was elevated, I had to stay neutral. And I said, hey, I am always working in the best interest of my clients, as you are. And we have contracts for a reason. And sometimes in a contract, we have to terminate. And that's why there are contingencies in the contract. I'm giving him all the spiel, but he didn't want to hear it. Long story short, we did end up terminating the contract. My buyers received their earnest money back, and he understood. But my thinking is that he put himself through so much stress. And I understand that a lot of times, especially when we have to deliver not so great news to our clients, like an appraisal is low, or a contract is terminating, or there has to be a push in closing date, they are going to be elevated right there because they have all of their life issues going on, and this deal is impacting that. But we, as the real estate professionals, have a responsibility not to match that high energy, to stress them out, but to be even keel. And I'm not saying that we want to be nonchalant, but we definitely have to set the tone and the temperament on how we represent. And here, I will be the first to say that I have not always done this well, right? I will be the first to say I can vividly remember a couple of years ago having a repair amendment come back, and I was representing the sellers, and the buyers wanted like $20,000 off of the house. It was valid because of the repairs that were needed. And my sellers were so upset and so elevated about it. And I met that same energy, that same level of like, ooh, and it didn't go well, right? It did not go well. I didn't sleep that night. Like, it caused me way more stress instead of just giving them the facts, giving them, my professional advice on how we proceed, reminding them of what the contract said and what their options are, and just closing it and letting tomorrow come. But instead, I let my blood pressure boil, and I can only imagine what this other agent did as well. So why am I telling y'all all this? Because this business can feel very emotional, right? But you as the real estate agent, you as the authority, you as the professional, we have a responsibility not to freak out over everything, even when things don't go our way. I can't tell you how many times that I'm in the middle of a deal, and how I'm navigating it, I'm even killing the phone with my client or with the other agent. But then when I hang up that phone, I'm like, that's okay. Okay. But the other parties that we're dealing with, we have to remain professional. And then honestly, for your own personal mental health, like, y'all, it ain't that serious, right? Now, I'm not saying that we're not dealing with a very serious transaction, but it's not worth all of the drama that we can add to it. So I'm going to just encourage you to evaluate, like, how are you problem solving? How are you thinking through issues? What are your skills and your strategies when you have to have difficult conversations with other parties that are involved? And do you have the skill of taking the emotion out of it and doing your job well? And if not, start practicing that today. Now, if you made it to the end of this video and you are not subscribed to my channel, what are you doing with your life? Like, go ahead and subscribe, because I know some of y'all letting y'all tempers like ruin your business. Okay, it's okay. Starting today, you don't have to do that anymore. Just subscribe and keep coming back. Keep coming back. And while you are at it and while you're subscribing, check out our podcast. The Real Estate Besties podcast is live. Hop on over to our website, rebestie.com, to get a link to all show episodes, or wherever you consume your podcast. If you are on Spotify, if you are on Audible, if you're on the podcast platform for all my Apple users, we are there. So make sure that you're there, because I go in depth and I give you all just a lot of great feedback about real estate, like a good friend would. Talk to you soon.